morning. In the last class, we have studied thermodynamic variables. So let's revise. Thermodynamic variables. So we already seen the macroscopic state of the substance or the thermodynamic state of the substance is completely described by the four observable quantities, that is pressure, composition, temperature and volume. So these are the four observable quantities that describe the state of the system, and these quantities or the properties are called the thermodynamic variables of the state of the system. That is, this totally called as the properties, observable properties and observable properties. These four observable properties are called the thermodynamic variables of the system. So if we consider system is homogeneous and in that system there is a single substance is involved, so that's why for the homogeneous system, and if we write equation between these four, that is called the equation of state. The equation between these thermodynamic variables is called the equation of state. Equation of state. So for homogeneous system, the equation of state can be written, because this is the homogeneous system. Homogeneous system consists of only one, means uniform substance, uniform phase, that is only in one phase. That's why here composition term is fixed. Okay, in the homogeneous system the composition is fixed. That's why system can be completely determined with three pressure, temperature and volume variables. So that's why for the homogeneous system in general, equation of state is the f of T V T equals to 0. So this is the equation of state for the homogeneous system. Then next is there are two types of thermodynamic variables. First is the extensive variables, and second is the intensive variable. So what is meant by extensive and intensive variables? So extensive variables means a macroscopic parameters. This is the macroscopic parameter. Macroscopic parameter. Okay. The macroscopic parameter of the system in equilibrium, which describe the system in equilibrium and which has the value. Again, a macroscopic parameter will describe the system in equilibrium and which has the value equal to the sum of values of any part of the system. Okay, means which has the value, macroscopic parameter of the system which is in thermal equilibrium and which has the value sum of all values of any part of the system. Okay, and this is called the extensive variable. Got it? Macroscopic parameter of the system, macroscopic parameter which describes the system in equilibrium and which has the value equals to sum of all the values of any part of the system. This is called the extensive variable. Extensive variable is totally depend on the quantity or mass or size of the substances. It depends on the quantity or mass or size of the substance which is used in the system. Okay, some examples are length, mass, area. Okay, then next are the heat capacity, electric charge, magnetization, entropy, internal energy, volume. There are lots of examples of extensive variables. So these are some examples, that is heat capacity, entropy, volume, pressure. So these all are the examples of extensive variables. Okay, so let us consider for example. So we have a two part of the system. So the macroscopic variable x of the system has the value, macroscopic parameter x has the value in two part of the systems are x1 and x2. Okay, this is the macroscopic system x and which has the value x1 and x2 in two parts of the system. Okay, and if we write x equals to x1 plus x2, okay, x equals to sum of x1 and x2. We already know x1 is the value of the system of first part and x2 is the value of the state of the system in second part. So if we take the addition of these two part, okay, so then we can say that the x, the macroscopic parameter x is the extensive variable. Okay, so this is the equation for the extensive variable. X equals to x1 plus x2 means the sum of all values of any part of the system. Okay, then the intensive variable. So intensive variable, it is the microscopic variable. Microscopic variable, microscopic parameter which describe the system in equilibrium. Okay, so which has the value, which has the same value for any part of the system. Same value for any part of the system. Any part of the system is called the intensive variable. Okay, got it? The microscopic parameter will describe the system in equilibrium which has the same value for any part of the system. It is called the intensive variable. So examples of intensive variables are, the examples are temperature, pressure, magnetic induction, refractive index, surface tension. So these are the examples of intensive variable. Okay, understand? So this intensive variable is independent of quantity or size of the substance. It is the characteristics of the substance, characteristic present in the system. Okay, it depends on characteristics of the substance present in the system. Okay, so let's have a system of two variables, or the macroscopic, let's have the system of two parts of the system. We consider two parts of the system. X is the macroscopic parameter and we can write x equals to, according to definition, x1 equals to x2. x1 is the, so x1 and x2 are the two parts of the system. x1 and x2 are the two parts of this macroscopic system, and if we write x equals to x1 equals to x2, means the value of intensive variable is the same value for any part of the system, then we can say that this macroscopic parameter, macroscopic system, or the macroscopic variable x is the intensive variable. So if we write x equals to x1 equals to x2, so we can say that this macroscopic variable x is the intensive variable. Okay, so these are the two variables, extensive variable and intensive variables. So then next, so this is the equation for intensive variable. So then next topic is the zeroth law. Zeroth law of thermodynamics. Zeroth law of thermodynamics. So the zeroth law of thermodynamics deals with the thermal equilibrium of more than 2 or 3 systems. Okay, so this in this law there is an involvement of 2 or more systems. Okay, so let's consider a hot body is the first system, hot body A is the hot body, and this is the one of the system, and this is the cold body B, and if two bodies are in thermal contact, okay, this is the hot body and this is the cold body, and these two are in thermal contact. Thermal contact means there is a transfer of heat between these two. So let's take settle this. Hot body A is in thermal contact with the cold body B. So heat flows at the instant. Heat flows from body A to body B, and after some time heat flows will be stopped. So we can see that the temperature of A and B is the same, means two bodies A and B bodies are in thermal equilibrium. So the statement of zeroth law, if the systems are separately in thermal contact, if the two systems, okay, here system A, B and C are the three systems, body A, body B and body C are the systems, okay. So these are the three systems. Statement is, if two system A and B, we say that A and C, if the two bodies A and C system is in thermal equilibrium, then with the third is the B, okay. If the two system A and B is in thermal contact with the third system, then this both A and C is in thermal equilibrium, okay. This is the statement. If the two systems are in thermal equilibrium with a third system, then the both are in thermal equilibrium, okay. This is the statement. So see the explanation. So let us taking the three system. This is the A system and this is the there is a partition. This is the B system, and below this is the C system. There is again partition, and here C system, and that are enclosed in a packed system, airtight system, okay. So see this diagram. So these are the three system enclosed in a packed system. So this is the thermal conducting wall. Thermal conducting wall. And this is the adiabatic wall. Okay. So let's take a three system A, B and C. A and B is partitions with the adiabatic wall. Adiabatic wall, that is the wall which does not conduct energy. Okay. Means between these two systems there is nothing to carry. Means it does not flow through this A to B. And this A and B system is in contact with the thermal conducting wall. Thermal conducting wall means there is a transformation of heat energy. Means energy can transfer to this A, B and C. Okay. So after some time we say that, means after some time the heat flows. This is the conducting wall. Due to this, the temperature of A, after some time temperature of A and C is the same, because there is a conducting wall, and temperature of B and C becomes the same because these two bodies are in thermal contact due to this thermal conducting wall. Means we can say that A and C, system A and C attains the thermal equilibrium, and system B and C attains the thermal equilibrium. Okay. Then how can we say that the system A and B is in thermal contact? Okay, yes or no? So we doesn't know. So we don't know. So that's why this thermal conducting wall is replaced. Remove this thermal conducting wall and put in the adiabatic wall. Adiabatic wall remove, and inside place this in the adiabatic wall. Okay. Means there is this is the thermal conducting wall. So see this diagram. means this thermal conducting wall is removed, and in place of adiabatic wall we put thermal conducting wall, and observe there the temperature of A and B becomes equal, means there is no any discrimination or difference between the temperature of A and B, means we can say that this system A and B are in thermal equilibrium. So this is the zeroth law. If two system A and C and B and C are in thermal equilibrium, then they both are in thermal equilibrium. So this is the zeroth law. Okay, I hope you understand. Thank you.